Hey, everybody, welcome to the Master Passive Income Show. My name is Dustin Heiner, and I am super pumped to bring on a fantastic expert investor that I now am excited to share with you how she has become a real estate investor, buy properties, making passive income. I have Suzette Williams on the show. Suzette's one of our students here at Master Passive Income, and she is here to share her success. Suzette, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, Dustin. And how are you doing this fine day?
I am very blessed. Things are going so well. And I'm very excited to talk to you about your business, how you got started, and all that sort of stuff. But talk to us a little bit about, you are investing, but you didn't start there. Would you mind sharing a little bit about your back history? What got you wanting to invest? I know you travel a ton. And so we'll talk about traveling, but then how real estate investing got into your, what you wanted to do.
Okay. Yes, I started traveling and I actually went to FinCon, which is where I met you. How funny is that? And my purpose for going to FinCon was to set up a blog, as far as a travel blog, so to speak. And went to FinCon, they set me up with Pete McPherson as a mentor. And, Pete runs a blog and a podcast teaching people how to blog. And from the time they set me up with Pete, I started listening to his podcast. And then I ran across your interview with Pete. And then I started listening to you. And then at first I just was listening just to be listening. And then after a while, I started getting interested. And somehow you lit a fire in me. And then I started just following the path. I went ahead, got my finances together. Well, they were semi together before, but then now that I had a purpose, I kind of took the speedy track. And then from there, I got fascinated with my job. So I went ahead and retired. And then I actually went to your conference, which is the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference. And I was so impressed by the supportive community there that I went ahead and I joined your mentorship shortly after. And it's been nothing but smooth sailing from there.
I love it. And it was so fun meeting you at FinCon. And Pete, yeah, Pete's a great guy. He's a good friend of mine. And talking to him about business and everything, and then being able to meet you, it was so awesome. And then you came to RubeCon. Now it's great that I love how you have already quit your job, like you're completely done, which is great. And then now starting businesses, you have more time to create your travel blog and travel more. But at the same time, we love having passive income from our properties, making us money. Now, talk to me about that first property. And Nick, because I remember we were on a group coaching call, you said you got your property and everything. So can you tell me a little bit about that property? Like, where is it located? How did you come across the deal? All that sort of stuff.
It's located in Cleveland Heights, which is in Ohio. And I came across it on the MLS. And actually, before that, I had one previously that I found in Lakewood, Ohio. And somehow things didn't line up with that one. And then in the process, I got a brand new realtor. And this one, she was about her business, because one of the first things she said to me is, I'm going to look into it and make sure there are no violations, because if there's violations, you will not be buying this. And we've actually worked well together since then. The property, there was very little that needed to be done. Even as far as painting, I didn't even need to paint. It was a great property. The upkeep was phenomenal. And I paid the asking for it. And the reason for that was because there were a lot of people vying for the property. And it came with 3 tenants. So 2 of them were not on leases. And I got that done. So now what I'm in the process of doing is updating the empty unit, because I have a traveling nurse who's interested. And
is it so is it a triplex? Is it
it's a fourplex, actually.
fourplex?
Yeah.
So I love the area of the Cleveland area, and especially the outskirts of Cleveland. I personally invest in that area as well. And those outskirts, like the suburbs, are great. Cleveland Heights is a good area. And so you got the fourplex. It's okay if you don't want to, but do you mind sharing how much you bought it for? And then once it's all done and making the passive income, how much you would be making in passive income?
Yeah, I paid 350 for it. Actually, 351. 351 I paid. And right now it's about $1,000 passive income. However, once I get the nurse in there, it's gonna be a little more than 2,500.
Oh man, that sounds terrific. I'm so excited for you. And so when you have the fourplex, I personally love having multiple units. Now, 5 units and above, that's a multifamily, that's commercial loans, totally different. You have to, every 5 years, you're going to have to refinance it or try to sell it. That's usually why syndications or apartment complexes, that's why they sell them really fast after 5 years, is because it's the loans. But I love 4 units because you get really the multifamily aspect, many, many doors, a lot more money in passive income, and you still get the residential or the not commercial, the consumer loan, like a 30-year fixed loan. You know, a conventional loan is so fantastic because that payments are fixed. Now, with that, you have hopefully you'll be making over $2,000 a month in passive income. How are you managing these properties?
Actually, right now I have a property manager, and I'm actually about to switch property managers because I'm not too pleased with how things are being handled. But the as far as the tenants, they're almost a cohesive unit. So it's a little simple. And also the other thing is I've actually gone on the contract with a second property not too far from the first one. So it was quite by accident, but I'm not complaining.
So you have this one, it's 4 units. It's producing well, like, or right now it's even doing $1,000 in passive income. Then you're going to get a traveling nurse, which is phenomenal. I love the midterm rentals. You make more money, which is great. The only other thing is catch is you have to furnish it. But I mean, shoot, if you're going to furnish it and you make a lot of money, that's going to be all worth it. So that's terrific. And then with that, getting a new property manager, well, definitely the property manager is going to make you pull out your hair if they're bad, or help you sleep at night if they're good. And so I hopefully you'll be able to find a really good property manager. Now, with that, I love the idea of scaling the business and being able to get the next property. Talk to us about this second property that you have under contract. And with that, was it still the MLS? Like, talk to us about the particulars of that property as well.
The second property, I actually ran into it by accident. I paid a visit to Ohio, and it's about 10 minutes away in the neighboring town. They were actually working on it, and my realtor actually knew one of the contractors, and he put her in touch with the owner. They were actually working on it, and she told the realtor that we were interested, and then they called, and things are moving ahead. They're almost done. It's a duplex with an additional floor. It has like a third floor upstairs, and brand new. They actually rehabbed the home, and but it looks nice. It's in great condition. All new appliances, everything.
That's exciting. So you're going to have in as little as what, 3 months? I think three, maybe give or take. You're going to have six
Yeah,
units.
correct. Yes.
That's so terrific. So you're under contract now, and when do you close? Because wintertime in Ohio is very cold, and it's
Yes.
totally fine. Like I've closed in November, December, January. You just know when you're buying it, it's harder to get somebody to move in there. But yeah, so when do you close, and how much do you think in passive income you're going to be able to make?
Actually, we're looking to close within 60 days. It could be before because they're not quite done with the work on it. And as far as the passive income, we're looking at $1,700 per side in rent. And that will bring me up to about $900 a month in passive income.
That is so amazing. So $900 for the duplex in passive income. And then you're going to have with the other one, let's say $2,000. So let's round it up to $3,000 a month in just 3 months. That's those are amazing. That is so cool. Now, what along the way have you learned that you can share with the audience and next students that are coming along?
What have I learned? You know what? That's a doozy of a question. And one of the first things I learned is you have to be able to pivot. Because my first two attempts weren't that successful. They actually were a little disappointing, to say the least. And because originally I was looking at single family homes, I never thought I'd be doing multi-units. So you just have to be able to pivot and go with the flow. The other thing I learned is you move much more smooth if you have a supportive community behind you. And you were there, you saw the support I've gotten at RubeCon, I've gotten in our mentorship program. So that made a lot of difference. You know, once you have that support system, it makes all the difference. Oh, and the third thing I learned is you can't be afraid to change your mind, because sometimes the best laid plans go awry.
That's a great thing about being an entrepreneur is what you need to be able to do. If you have that mindset, you need to be flexible. I love like your idea of being able to be able to pivot, to be able to change your mind. If one route doesn't work, then be able to change. And honestly, I think all three of those go together. And the reason why is because when you get better information, let's say you have that support structure, let's say you have a coach and you have like 10 people around you that are also investing too, that have different ideas, that have done something different, that can give you a suggestion. Yeah, this worked for me if I went this way. You're able to adjust and make sure that you are doing the best for your business as opposed to just hoping that it works out well. Now, talk to me about how working in, everything from the courses to the coaching and the students, how did that help you fast track your way? Now, hopefully, Lord willing, in 3 to 4 months, you're going to have $3,000 a month in passive income.
As far as working in that group setting, I've learned so much because I'm thinking, okay, everyone has the same idea, and I've gotten so many different ideas because from being in the group setting, I never thought about investing in raw land. Who even knew that was a thing? So that was surprising, and that was something. It was fascinating to me, and that's something I also hope to dip my toe into later on. And I know exactly who to see about that. Midterm rentals was another thing. I was aware of short-term rentals. However, midterm rentals, once I really buckled in and showed an interest, it was so much more fascinating to me. And then as far as our group, it's such a supportive community. Even going to RubeCon, everyone there is like, give. Like, how can I help you? I had this one guy say, okay, well, you have a great idea. How can I help you get from where you are to where you would like to be? And it was so almost overwhelming because I wasn't expecting that.
And you are absolutely the right fit. I remember when you and I met at FinCon, and we, in talking in the conference and everything, I said, man, you're absolutely the right fit just because of, who you are and how you love to give and share as well. And that's the great thing about having a community is you have other people that are like-minded, that want the same outcomes and that are helpful. Now, I will say this. If there are people that are takers in personality, like they're just trying to get what they want out of it, honestly, they weed themselves out. Like I don't even have to do it. People just get weeded out because if you're not a giver in RubeCon as well as Master Passive Income, if you're not generous with who you are, if you're not trying to help other people, they're going to realize that very, very quickly and just be like, oh, I'm not going to talk to that person. So what's great for us is because they weed themselves out, we have a solid, terrific community of other real estate investors that are really just helping each other out. Now, were there any hurdles that you had to jump through in order to get, because you said, the first couple properties you were trying to get and didn't get, like, what are some hurdles that you had to overcome?
Hurdles. Oh, one of the first hurdles I had to overcome was my first foray. The broker wasn't on the up and up, and I lost my deposit. The good thing is I didn't dwell on that. Um, and as I go further into this journey, this what I know now is what I should have known back then. And honestly, that's her loss because she could have had a great client, you know. Um, and speaking of being able to pivot, I was so semi-distraught that I just turned my mind away from that state. I went in the opposite direction. One of the other hurdles I had to overcome was having a realtor who did not listen. And I would say, well, I think I should do this. No, you don't. You don't want to do that. You should do this. No, I don't want to do this. But then in the same breath, she would turn around and do exactly what I said I didn't want to do. And so that one went bye-bye. And that goes right in line with what have I learned? Not to be afraid to stand up for yourself, not to be afraid to disagree with people, not to be afraid to speak up when people don't have your best interests at heart.
Completely agree with that. And to add to that, in finding the right people to work with, it also comes with weeding out the bad people, like the ones that just don't fit our business model. And if somebody's not going to do what I want them to do in my business, then sadly, I'm just going to have to move on. And what's interesting is because you, Suzette, you have me, you have all the coaching that we have, the group coaching, the other students, and we're giving you like things that have worked for us. And then you have somebody else like a realtor. And honestly, I mean, we're probably going to have realtors that are listening to this, but realtors are literally a dime a dozen. There's so many. In fact, in Arizona, where I live, Arizona alone, I want to say there's 46,000 realtors in the state of Arizona. Now, California is probably way more than that. But what you think about is how many people are realtors and how many are active realtors. Now, there are some that are great. Don't get me wrong. There's some fantastic realtors. I'm not just painting a whole big swath on everybody. But at the same time, a lot of people think they're experts if they've been a realtor for 1 or 2 years. Well, I've been investing since 2006. And a lot of the realtors that have been around since 2006 see it more the way that we do as investors because they've been in it for the long haul. They know what's going on, which is great. So having being able to stand firm and then holding people's feet to the fire, that's what we need to do. And I love also what you were touching on was like your mindset. Like you didn't let it get you down if something bad happened, because our mind is going to stop us or help us to push through. Talk to us a bit about how you keep that upbeat mindset or that can-do mindset throughout trials like that.
Well, you know what? One of the things that helped with that is like when I started listening to you, you stressed mindset, mindset, mindset. The other thing with me, I'm a little bit older. So my thing was, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it now. Nothing is going to stop me. Nothing is going to stop me. And then I had little things I was worried about, the funding, this, that. I'm like, and then once I retired, everything just fell into place. You know, all of a sudden I had enough time. I started going to every conference I could find. I'm like the guru of conferences now. The other thing is, I remember one of the guys in the group said, don't worry about the funding. You get the deal and the money will follow. It's happened. So, you know, and the more I progressed, the more relaxed I became. So, you know, so it's like, oh, who cares about a hurdle? And the thing with the hurdles, now the next person coming along, I can reach back to them and say, hey, I tried it that way, but here's what worked for me. So
Totally agree with that. And thinking of all the students, I mean, at Master Passive Income, we probably have had hundreds, if not almost thousands of students now that I get to look back and see all the success that they've had. And then sometimes they bring me in on things like I help them. And then now they progressed. And then now we take part together in certain deals and things like that. It's just terrific as we do not focus solely on ourselves, but we focus on other people. How do we help other people? Just like when you buy one rental property, if you focus on your tenants, focus on taking care of them, making sure your tenants are taken care of. If you do that, then you're going to have a good property that's cash flowing, that's going to be making you money. So, what are some things like you're doing now to scale your business? Because hopefully, Lord willing, you get 3 months, you're going to have 6 properties making you 6,000 or 6 units, making you $3,000 a month. What are you going to do to scale your business?
One of the first things I thought of doing was diversifying. Uh, it doesn't necessarily always have to be multi-units. I went over into the western part of Ohio. There's a young man I met there at a conference, of course, and he was showing me around, and it was, I want to say it was Lorain, Ohio, but I could be wrong because we went to like 4 towns that day. And in this area, the majority of the properties are single family. However, they command anywhere between $1,200-$1,300 a month. So real nice area. So I've got that in my back pocket. I'm also looking to get into mixed use. That's going to be a little later down the line, but mixed use is something I've become interested in. And then probably also, as far as the raw land, I'm thinking long term as far as an RV park or something of the sort. But, baby steps.
And
But
I mean, you're
that was a
moving.
thought.
Yeah, even though you said baby steps, you're moving really well. You're not trying to go so slow where it's like, oh man, this is taking forever. But you're moving well, which is great. But at the same time, what I love is that, like, let's say in the Master Passive Income community and the Rubicon, the Real Estate Wealth Builders community, we have so many different investors that are experts that do this stuff. So thinking about land, you and I both know Seth Williams is going to be one of the best persons to talk to.
Yes.
Kirby Atwell, if you're doing any short term, Sarah Weaver, if you're doing midterm, like we have so many great people that are part of the community. And then thinking of, if you're going to do something like an RV park, we have like William Palmer. He's literally a coach here at Master Passive Income, which you have access to through the student community and everything. Like, he's already doing that stuff. I mean, it's just so great when we connect everybody, because we all have questions. We all have like, well, what happens if this, and how do I get into doing that? Well, Lord willing, we're going to have somebody here that's actually done it and they can help you. So it's terrific. Now, what would you say to people who are looking to start investing in real estate and they're thinking, man, I kind of want to start with Master Passive Income, I want to start coaching with them? What would you say to them to encourage them to get started?
Oof, what would I say? Now, that's a great question because I can actually say a lot. I'll start with, you should do it and do it today. The other thing I would say, you get out of this mentorship what you put into it. Because, like, if I use myself personally, I feel like I've grown so much since I've joined. And it doesn't have to be our mentorship, but a mentorship helps, because at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. And if you ask me, I put it under the category of money well spent. So, and I thank you for doing it, because it's, like I said before I started listening to you, it's something I never even thought about.
I appreciate it. And look at where you're at now. I'm just amazed. Getting 6 units in little as 3 months and then making close to $3,000 a month once everything's all done. That is super awesome, Suzette. Now, did you create your travel blog? Is that up and running? Do you want to share it with everybody?
It's actually not up and running yet. It was at one point, and I don't know what I did, but all of a sudden the page just went blank. However, I'm working on it again. It's going to be Travels with a Z by Suze.com.
Travel. So make sure there's a Z. So travels by Suze.com.
Correct. And that should be up in another, I'll say 2 weeks.
Awesome. So everybody, will put that in the show notes so you guys can definitely check out Suzette and everything that she does. She's terrific. And She's such a fun personality too. So everybody listening, what was so fun? So we were on a coaching call. It was probably, I don't know, good 3, 4, 6 months ago or something like that. And I said, "Hey, oh, Suzette's here. Oh, she's such a nice lady." And Suzette, you said to me, "No, I'm a thug." I'm like, "Oh, that's right." She's she got a great sense of humor, but at the same time, such a great person. I'm so glad you're a part of the community and a part of RubeCon community as well. It's a blessing to have you be a part of us. But thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your insights and successes and even things that you've learned along the way. So Suzette, thank you so much. If there's anything else that we should have asked, is there any other ideas that you want to share with everybody else before we sign off?
Uh, the only thing I could think of is two things. It's always two things. The first thing is once you get yourself, you know what? You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And if you surround yourself with like-minded people, things only get better from there. And the other thing is something I hear you say often. The best time to get involved in real estate was a couple of years ago. The second best time, right now.
Atta girl. I love it. Love it. Love it. Suzette, it's so good to see you again and look forward to seeing you every year at RubeCon. You know, I'll be there. I know you'll be there too. And
I will.
but yeah, so it's great seeing you. I'll see you on the next coaching call. But thank you again, Suzette, for being on the show.
And thank you as well, Dustin. Couldn't do it without you.